guys, it's Nina, and today I'm going to be running through basically all of the bookish updates that you can think of for this month, the next month, I don't know. This is why this is just a general reading update. But before I get started, I just wanted to note, I know in my diversity video I said that the next video I'm going to upload is the diversity awareness book tag, and that will now be the next thing that I upload because I have already filmed it. I just have to edit it because I have about 50 minutes of footage right now. So I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it, but school has just erupted and been crazy, and I just feel like I need to get a video up because it's been a million years since I've posted anything. So with that out of the way, let's just get into whatever this video is. So my first two books that I really have to haul this month, I both got around the time of the National Book Festival, which is a book festival that goes on in DC here every year, and it was my first time going to not only this festival but really any big book festival, and it was an interesting day. I don't know, it was a learning experience, I'll say that, because I got lost a lot. I didn't really know what was going on, but I did get to see two authors speak, the first of which was Shonda Rhimes, which was really amazing. For those of you who don't know, she is the showrunner of Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, and How to Get Away with Murder. She's amazing. I loved hearing her speak. And then the other person that I really wanted to go see was John Lewis, and he is a US congressman and was really involved in the civil rights movement. And he is one of the authors of this book, March, which is a trilogy of graphic novels about his life and his involvement in the civil rights movement, and it's amazing graphic novels. So basically I went to hear him speak, it was amazing, and then after that I sat in line for an hour and a half to get this book signed, and I did. I got it signed by him and the main person who helped him write it, so that was kind of cool. I mean, it was awesome to meet him and have that, but at the same time it was waiting in line for an hour and a half for a 30-second interaction, so was it worth it? I don't know. But this is my first real signed book that I've gotten signed by an author, and that's just really special to me, so that was awesome. But I already owned this book. That was just all a lot of introduction to basically say I picked up the third volume of March, which was the only one that I don't own. I have yet to read it, but I do hope to read this soon because the first two I read last year and they're just amazing. Both 5 out of 5 stars. If you want to learn more about the civil rights movement in the US, I highly recommend them. They're just so good, and I learned so much from them. And then the next book that I picked up was actually one that they were giving away for free at the National Book Festival. So they had The Forgetting by Sharon Cameron, and they were giving this away for free. And this isn't an ARC, it's like a finished hardcover copy, and it's really nice. And I've seen this going around BookTube a little bit. I think it's been in a few subscription boxes, but it's basically this premise where every 12 years, everyone in this world or whatever forgets everything unless it's been written down, and the main character is the only person who doesn't forget everything. And that's a really cool premise. It's one of those books where I don't know if I would have actually gone out and bought it, but now that I have it, I'll probably be reading this soon, so that's really cool. And that was really it for my haul, so let's just jump right into my wrap-up for September. The first book that I completed in September was The Hidden Oracle by Rick Riordan. This is the first Trials of Apollo book, and I quite enjoyed this. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked the main characters. Apollo is hilarious. I love him. Meg is okay. I was fine with her. I liked her. But one of the things about this book that is kind of either its strength or its weakness, depending on how you look at it, is that it has a lot of cameos from Percy and Nico and other characters from the Heroes of Olympus and Percy Jackson books. And on the one hand, I loved that because the scenes with Percy were my favorite scenes because I love him and he's amazing, and it's really great to see where he is after the events of the Heroes of Olympus because it's a very open-ended ending. But on the other hand, I think it was kind of disappointing that my favorite parts about this book were seeing a character from a different series. I just wish I had been able to fall in love with these characters as much as those old characters, but at the end of the day that's still an unrealistic expectation because of course I'm gonna love Percy more than everyone else. I don't know, but at the end of the day I still did enjoy the series and I'm definitely going to be continuing with it. The next book that I read this month was A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, and oh my god, this book, it was so good, you guys. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, a 10 out of 5 stars. This book was amazing. It's definitely one of my top 3 of this year. It's so good. You guys may remember from my August wrap-up, I read ACOTAR. I had mixed feelings on it. I think I gave it a 3.5. It was okay, but this one was so much better. I felt so much more connected to the characters in this one. I liked Feyre a lot more than in the first one. I loved Rysand. I can't believe I'm saying that, but oh my god, Rysand is amazing, and I just TBT to when I was Team Tamlin, guys. TBT. Just Rysand's whole like squad family, like they were all great and I loved them and their dynamic. Maybe one of my issues with ACOTAR was that there weren't enough characters, because this one was just so much better. I don't know even how to put it into words, but it was amazing. I also just can't say much because spoilers, but it was so good. And the last book that I finished this month was, of course, Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. This book was pretty darn good. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I was a little disappointed with it, not gonna lie, but that's because I think, again, I very overhyped this book. Like, my expectations were like up there by the ceiling, because this is one of my favorite series of all time, and I was expecting nothing less from perfection, especially since people started reading it and they started loving it, and I was very slow to read it because I'm a slow reader. But then I read it and I had some issues with it, and it just didn't grab me, again, as I need 5-star books to do in order to give them 5 stars. It didn't have that like can't stop reading, can't put it down feeling. I think my first main issue was the romance in this book, because it's very steamy. It is basically new adult, and that bothered me, not because new adult bothers me, like I can handle ACOTAR, but because this book started out as like PG-13 or as a regular YA series, and nothing has changed except that it's a later book in the series. Like, it was just weird to make that jump from like normal YA and then suddenly we're in this new adult genre like halfway through the series. Like, that just doesn't make sense from a continuity standpoint. And then my other main issue was that Celaena didn't feel like the main character to me. My favorite scenes in this were similar to everyone else's. The Manon and the Allied Lorcan scenes, those were my favorite parts. And that's great and all, but I feel like my favorite scenes should have been the Celaena ones because she's the main character. But honestly, we spend more time with all the other characters than we do with Celaena, and I kind of miss having her as the main point of view, or having her point of view more often. But then on the other side, because it was so big and there were so many characters, it did feel like a really epic fantasy, and that was really great. I think if there was just one word that I could use to describe this book, it would be epic, because so much goes down, so much with the characters, so much plot-wise, and it's just crazy. I think my favorite scene out of the entire book was the scene with Manon and Asterion and her grandmother. Like, that whole thing was insane, but then the ending is also phenomenal, and basically all of the battle scenes I really liked, but the ending was just too much for me to handle, and I still did really enjoy this book. 4 out of 5 stars, and of course I still love the series and it's still one of my favorites. Also, forgot to mention, this was our Biblio Squad book pick of the month for September, so if you want to know more of my thoughts on this book, we had a full spoiler filled live show, and I will link that down below so you can watch it. So TBR, as you guys know, I'm not really one for TBRs. I only have one book on my TBR, but it's one that I do need to talk about, and that is going to be Gemina by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. This comes out next week, this week, depends when I upload this, but this is our Biblio Squad book pick of the month for the month of October, and our live show is actually going to be in November, on November 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is New York City, East Coast time. But I'm really excited to read Gemina because Illuminae was amazing, and I just have really high expectations for this book, so very excited to get my hands on that soon. And that is going to be the only book that I'm going to put on my TBR right now, because I'm a mood reader and also midterms are happening, so that takes a lot of time. But that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know down below what you have been reading lately, and if you like this video, you can give it a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys later with another video. Bye!